Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. Tens of thousands of people throughout Catalonia united today in a general strike to protest the Spanish police crackdown on Sunday's banned independence referendum that left hundreds injured. Massive crowds filled the streets waving Catalan pro-independence flags and chanting slogans. At the same time, Spain's deputy prime minister said Madrid has measures at the ready should Catalonia's government declare independence this week. Whatever your position on this issue, what happened here in Catalonia is unacceptable. Regardless of whether we want independence or not, we have to demand our rights.
We feel abandoned by the EU. They should have said something about the behavior of the police on Sunday.
We will take all necessary measures to protect the rights of the Catalan people. Freedom is being trampled in Catalonia. The government is on strike, and it is an administration that abandons and divides the Catalan people. We will take all necessary measures. Prime Minister Andrej Plenković has condemned the violence in Catalonia.
Of course, we are saddened and we condemn the violence. Any kind of vote marred by physical violence is a bad thing. We are also aware of Spain's constitutional framework. I think the statement released by our ministry made our position clear. I am following the debate, but I'm also watching how other countries are responding. That is, the language they are using. Of course, we would like the sides to resolve this matter through dialogue.
The death toll in Monday's shooting in Las Vegas has now risen to 59. More than 500 people were wounded. Among the injured is Croatian-American Mike Ljubic, who was shot while shielding his wife from the spray of bullets. The motive for the deadliest shooting in U.S. history is still unclear. Democrats are calling for stricter gun control measures.
We have recovered 23 firearms at Mandalay Bay and 19 firearms at his home in Mesquite. I want to emphasize we believe Paddock is solely responsible for this heinous act.
We can't let this become the new American normal. We can't just shrug our shoulders when we see over 30,000 Americans shot and killed year after year after year. We can't sit back and do nothing.
President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović is due to travel to Russia later this month. Russia's President Vladimir Putin announced the visit as he welcomed 20 new ambassadors, among them Croatia's ambassador to Russia, Tonči Stanišić.
This year, we are marking 25 years of diplomatic relations with Croatia. In mid-October, we are expecting a visit from Mrs. Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović, the President of the Republic of Croatia. We hope the talks will lead to new agreements with respect to politics, trade, and culture, including the resolution of the issues surrounding the opening of the Russian Science and Culture Center in Zagreb.
Economy Minister Martina Dalić was also in Moscow today. She was heading Croatia's delegation at a meeting of a Croatian-Russian intergovernmental commission focusing on tourism, industry, agriculture, and energy.
Relations between Russia and Croatia are developing rapidly on a number of issues. Economic cooperation benefiting both sides is growing. We talked today about opportunities for cooperating in many areas. We signed a protocol outlining new terms for cooperation among government institutions.
This was a great opportunity to strengthen the institutional framework that will improve bilateral economic ties between Croatian and Russian companies. Agrokor's consolidated financial reports could be released later this week. The weekly Nacional has published a story that alleges owner Ivica Todorić kept a 2.2 billion kuna payment off the company's books for years before finally recording it the day before he stepped down as CEO. Meanwhile, Todorić has given his first interview since he lost control of Agrokor. He spoke to financial news agency Bloomberg. In the interview, he says the government is using the audit of Agrokor's books to achieve political goals.
We had a clear plan and strategy, but the government didn't allow us to execute them. My biggest responsibility is that I wasn't present in the media, that I didn't comment or deny certain stories that were published or talked about. But we didn't have time to explain to some people what we were doing.
The Defense Ministry said today it has received 4 offers in its international tender for the acquisition of multi-purpose combat aircraft. The bids were submitted by Greece, Israel, Sweden, and the United States. The selection process will take into consideration the characteristics and capabilities of the aircraft and price, as well as the offer of an intergovernmental contract and a business cooperation package.
This is a big decision. We have to work together to carefully evaluate all of the offers we have received. After that, we will choose what is best for Croatia.
We will pay close attention to the technical specifications, but also to the fact that this means forging a long-term partnership with the country selling us the fighter jets. This choice entails not only a security component, but also an economic one, a relationship that has potential for growth. It has to be a win-win for all, but especially for Croatia and its economy. President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović continued her visit to Romania today. She addressed an economic forum in Bucharest and later met with the Patriarch of the Romanian Orthodox Church. This afternoon, the president gave a lecture at Bucharest University and met with students studying the Croatian language there. Former Prime Minister and former HDZ leader Jadranka Kosor testified today in the retrial of the Fimi Media corruption case. She told the court that following the departure of Ivo Sanader, the HDZ's treasurer, Mladen Barišić, had handed over to the party's leadership 300,000 euros siphoned from state institutions and state-run companies. She says at the time she had decided to hand over the money to anti-corruption prosecutors. Knowing what she knows now, she says, she would have given the money back to the donors. Did you know that the money was not on the books? Yes, because I didn't think it required any additional action. I've already said, knowing what I know now, I'm sure I would have acted differently.
Did you tell Mr. Bajic at a meeting on January 4th that unless he indicted me, he would not be reappointed in February?
That's a lie. Croatia's #1 track and field athlete, discus thrower Sandra Perković, has been nominated for the IAAF's World Athlete of the Year Awards for the 5th time. Perković earned her nomination by winning gold at the World Championships in London and a 6th consecutive Diamond League title. The awards will be presented in Monaco on November 24th. Skies are expected to clear partially overnight into Wednesday. There may be some fog in the morning and a few drops of lingering rain in Lika and Dalmatia. There will be a light to moderate northeasterly on the coast. Gusts will reach high speeds in the north. Winds are expected to ease up during the day. Morning temperatures will be mostly between 5 and 10 degrees in the interior and between 12 and 18 degrees on the coast. The day's highs will range from 16 to 19 inland and from 20 to 24 on the Adriatic. Looking ahead in the week, it will be partly sunny on Wednesday in the interior. There will still be a chance of light rain in interior Istria and Dalmatia. On Friday and overnight into Saturday, it will be very cloudy and cool with rain and possibly snow at higher elevations. Skies will clear on Saturday starting in the west, but there could be still some rain in the east and far south. From Friday on, there will be a high northeasterly wind. On the coast, it will be very windy, starting with a high southeasterly. From Friday on, there will be a high northeasterly and northwesterly in the north, which will spread to the rest of the coast on Saturday. Expect frequent rain and thunder showers over the coming days. And that brings us to the end of our program. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.